Hi, I'm Meshea.
Hi, I'm Peggy.
And we are Hitting the Road in Mississippi. Hello everyone, this is Meshea with Hitting the Road in Mississippi. And I'm here with Ellie Banks, or Eleanor Banks, with the Mississippi Arts Commission. And she has given us her valuable time to talk all things arts in Mississippi and what's going on with the MAC office. So Ellie, just take it away and tell us all about how the Arts Commission helps those who are hitting the road in Mississippi from the standpoint of how the artists themselves can do that, but also how that brings others from the outside in so they can hit the road in Mississippi.
Absolutely. So I'm Ellie Banks. I'm the communications director here at the Mississippi Arts Commission. And what we do here is we provide grants to Mississippi artists, to organizations, arts organizations, those that are trying to help hire an artist. You can come through MAC and we can help you get a grant to help pay for that. Right now, we've just ended our annual grant round, and that occurs February 1st is when the applications open, and then they close on March 1st, and those are a little larger amount grants. They're specific for certain types of things that you might be trying to do as an artist or an organization. And then right now, coming up on May 1st, our mini grant rounds are about to open. And those are kind of what we call our introductory grants. So if you're interested in getting a grant, that's one of the ones that we really recommend you try for first to kind of get to know MAC, get to know our system. And those open May 1st and end June 1st. And those are really great for either individual artists or arts organizations.
Okay, so the mini grants are a good place to kind of get your feet wet in the grant world.
Absolutely.
And then the bigger grants are kind of like once you get going, that's how you do your bigger projects and that sort of thing as an artist, which then of course the things that artists are doing are what bring the tourist in.
Absolutely.
So let's start with the mini grants then, since that's kind of how you get your feet wet, and that's what's coming up, folks. You haven't missed that yet. What does a person do to apply for a mini grant, and what does that mean exactly, and what could those monies be used for, that sort of thing?
They can be used for various things. They can't be used for specifically equipment. So it can be things like paint. I believe it's paint and paintbrushes it can be used for. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Well, that's creative though.
That's just creative. Specifically for visual artists. It's really great towards if you want to get training for something. So if you want to, it is for an individual artist, you do have to, it is a reimbursement grant, so you don't get the money up front. You would have to spend the money and then you would get reimbursed.
And so you show what you've done, and then turn that in, and then the grant pays you back for having done it. So it's kind of a prove you've done it, we'll give you the money for having done it.
Correct. So but if we're happy to, if you have specific questions about mini grants or any of our grants, you can contact our offices and we would be happy to assist you. We have everyone here has this very specific role with their area of expertise, and that's what we're here for, is to help people apply for grants, get the grants, and figure out our system.
Awesome. So then somebody who is going to get training or whatever they're going to do for the mini grant, they that starts May 1st, the process for that. So that's coming up. So they could definitely start contacting you all now about that then?
Correct. Absolutely. Awesome. You can begin contacting us now. And the link to apply is always the same. It's going to be arts.ms.gov/apply. And that will get you directly to our application page.
Wow. And always the same.
Always the same. So if you're trying to apply for a grant, or even for the Governor's Arts Awards, that's the web address you're going to want to go to.
Awesome. Okay. Now, we've missed the big ones, folks, but if it's the big one, you probably want to think about it some and prepare anyway.
Yes, you're going to want to be really prepared coming in. You don't want the project to be something that is going to happen within like a month of the application, or like really quickly turnaround because you're going to have to go through the approval process. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're applying for those grants back in February and March timeframe.
Wow. So for those who want to do something and need help, that's a really impressive amount of help. Now's the time to be planning for those things. So you really haven't missed anything. You're getting the information at a really good time. You're getting it at kind of the earliest point to start your planning. I mean,
Absolutely.
you just wrapped up the 2023/24 process.
Right. Well, and we're actually still in the process of going through those applications. So currently, once you've applied, it's up until we announce them, and those usually occur in the first week or so of July.
Right.
They're now in panels, so they go through a panel process.
Wow.
Everyone at MAC, we don't have a say. That's not what we're here for. We're here to administer the grants. We can't say, oh gosh, I feel like that person should get it. That's not what we're here for. We get a panel put together. Our team is here to administer it, to help the process through, but we don't make this final call here.
Right.
So-
Okay. Who does make the final call?
It's the panelists. So it goes through a panel, and then based on different requirements for the grant and what they're looking at, that's how it's decided upon, depending on the grant that you're applying for.
Okay. So how are those panelists picked? I mean, so just so people who are applying for grants have some idea of who they're being scrutinized by.
Sure. We have a wide variety of panelists. They're always going to be within the art community or someone that understands that specific art form.
Right.
So sometimes we will go out of state to a partner state that wouldn't have applied for one of our grants,
Sure.
or someone that works at a similar agency to ours at another state. We'll also get people that are known in the community that may not be applying for grants or don't have a grant within, or aren't applying for a grant within that area.
Sure.
They may become a panelist. So it depends. It's usually someone, though, within the community that understands and can look at it to make a good decision.
Awesome. So it's kind of like someone who actually would understand the process and what the person is actually going through.
Absolutely.
So kind of a kindred spirit type person.
Absolutely.
Folks, that sounds like a good deal. That's not apples and oranges going on there. That's oranges and oranges or apples and apples. So that's a good thing. So what kind of money are we talking for a mini grant and the main grants? What kind of dollar amounts are we talking?
I know for individual artists, it's about $500 for a mini grant. So for the different grants that we offer, for grants for individual artists, for these larger grants that we're talking about. A fellowship grant, grants are up to $5,000, and those are awarded to artists in Mississippi. Individual project grants are up to $2,000. Folk art apprenticeships are $2,000, up to $2,000. Individual mini grants, like I mentioned, those are reimbursable grants that go up to $500. And then when you go into organizations, that's a whole different kind of ballgame there. So we're talking for a project grant for an organization, that's up to $5,000. Operating grants, those are a little bit different. Organizational mini grants go up to $1,000.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
So that's a mini grant.
That's a mini grant, but it's for an organization. So it's a little, you do get more because you're talking about an organization.
Okay, and so is that a mini grant is like the things we're still applying for? That an organizational mini grant?
That's correct.
Okay,
so that's coming up.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Because organizational is what we need.
Absolutely. and we have all this information. It's on our website. And again, you can contact us, and any of our team would be happy to assist you.
Awesome.
We also have the Building Fund for the Arts, which is another grant that we had last year. We asked for more money from the state for this year, and that's going to be the next thing that we're hopefully going to be able to do again for this coming year.
Yes, they talked about it the day that we were at the Capitol,
Yes.
and they talked about how the money is, the things that are done, they were using like contractors and from the state, and so it actually benefits the state. It's money that's coming back into the state for things in the state, which is then tourism in the state and jobs in the state. So it's very beneficial to the state that we're doing this at multi levels.
It is, and we're hoping to announce soon some information about that. So please keep up with us on social media, in our newsletter. Hopefully we'll be able to provide some details on what the next steps are for Building Fund.
So there's a folk art apprenticeship grant. I saw that. So for those who aren't familiar, are there a lot of apprenticeships in the state of Mississippi? Is that a big thing? Do you get a lot of applicants for that? What do y'all see with that?
Yeah, we do. It's now with the apprenticeships, they are limited as well. So we do get those, but there aren't many, I believe, to give out.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. It's a mentoring opportunity. Okay. It is to learn a craft from a master artist.
Wow.
And now it would not be for someone who is maybe like a hobbyist. It's not meant for that. It is truly meant for an artist that is wanting to improve their craft and learn from a master.
Right. Wow. That would be an amazing opportunity if there were funds available, so you could then have the time to perfect your art.
Sure.
And then use that to become either earn more money, have more earning potential, or make that your earning potential. Yeah, so
absolutely.
That's an amazing thing. Wow. Okay. So the grant process sounds like there are ample variety of opportunities, many opportunities. Why does Mississippi see that as so important? Why is that so important? Why do we have so many grants for artists? Because, all the things that go on in the world, and here we're talking about giving money to artists. Why is that important?
That's putting money right back into the community. It's creating the communities I know I want to see. I think it's allowing for that economic development. Our artists are what drive our economy, especially when it comes to tourism in the state. And this is the opportunity for us to provide these grants, help with those artists to be able to perform or create, and make Mississippi a better place for sure. And provide, we are a very unique state. I'm sure every state claims all these artists and things like that, but we have some of the best artists coming out of Mississippi. High quality, world renowned. That is what Mississippi is known for.
Yes.
And that's kind of where we stand, is we're here to help fund and support artists in the state.
And that is kind of where the whole premise for Hitting the Road in Mississippi came from, is we certainly recognize that there are types of artists in Mississippi that hit the road. Absolutely. Especially your musicians, they hit the road. But years ago, there was this great migration of artists out of the state because they couldn't make a living here. And because of that, we became well known throughout the country. All of our art forms did, and throughout the world. And now the hope is that there is ample money and opportunity here in Mississippi for those artists who have come back and for them to stay in the state.
Absolutely.
And because of that migration out, we became known nationwide and worldwide for what we have here. So people are hitting the road in Mississippi from around the world. It's not uncommon to hear foreign accents and foreign languages in just about any restaurant in Mississippi on any given day. And that's because the world is coming to check out Mississippi. So we need to pour the dollars into this, because this isn't some highbrowed notion of, well, somebody wants to support a painter, so they don't leave the state. no, the world is coming to see what these painters are doing, because the world became aware of what Mississippi wanted to express and how well Mississippi was expressing it. And so people are hitting the road in Mississippi from around the world. So these are dollars to encourage Mississippi artists to grow, to continue to express, and to stay in Mississippi and do it, and for the world to continue to come and spend their money in Mississippi to see that. And not just about money, though, but it's about pride. It's about really sharing what Mississippi stands for, who we are. It is about expressing the story of Mississippi and what we're becoming. So there's so many aspects of it, but there's definitely, it's an investment.
It is an
The
investment.
grants are an investment.
It's an investment back into our artists and back into our communities, to help our economy even grow further. And it, a high functioning community that has art, that brings in business. People want to live there.
Yeah.
I look at some of the cities that have really invested in public art or providing community events, and people want to be in those places.
Right.
So if you are providing that in your community through art, that people want to move there. Businesses want to be there. It all connects. It all comes back around.
Well, it changes the energy of a place.
It does.
It removes the stagnancy. It brings in the vibrancy. It creates movement, and if you have movement in one sector, then movement occurs in all sectors. So for someone who says, yeah, that's all well and good, but I own a factory and they're not putting any money into my factory, well, people are going to come and work at your factory, and the family members that are going to want to live there and support their spouse or whoever coming and being the boss at your factory, because it's a vibrant, growing community, and their children are going to be supported in arts and be encouraged to express themselves, and because your community is going to be active in this way, and because whenever people are thinking and growing from this place, it is a high vibrational place. It is a place where people actually they think differently, they behave differently. It is a different type of growth. It is a different way of being. It is where you go from having just graffiti on the wall to having art on the wall.
Absolutely.
It is where you go from having violence to having masterpieces written or performed to take that energy and redirect it. And so yes, the man who wants to put a factory in, you've got a reason to put a factory in that town now, because that town is different.
That's
because
right.
of this.
That's right.
So this is an investment in everything, because
Absolutely.
this grows the culture. It doesn't grow culture, because we used to we used to think of it as this is culture. No, this grows culture. It grows the culture. It grows everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is an amazing investment, and the proof of that is what you also do, which is the Arts Awards.
Yes.
Which is the other thing we wanted to talk about.
Absolutely. So we are in the process of accepting nominations for the 2024 Governor's Arts Awards. I'm like, what year are we in?
I know. We've
I
talked
can't believe it.
We've talked about what, 3-4 years span already.
Yes.
Here,
so we are already accepting nominations for the 2024 Governor's Arts Awards, and this is a very special award that a artist or a group, an organization, someone that is a patron of the arts can receive. We don't have necessarily the same categories every year, but it's based on if the person has really contributed to the arts, what they've done. They don't have to live in Mississippi, but they do have to have a strong connection to Mississippi in some way, whether they lived here for residency, were born here, and they've moved away. That's okay too. But these are artists that have really just perfected their craft, well known, either statewide, nationwide, or worldwide. We've had a wide range of recipients in the past. And this year, we're really excited about it. We have already started receiving nominations. And we really hope to have several more come in. So the deadline is June 1st this year. And we're really looking forward to celebrating with everyone. The award ceremony will take place on Thursday, February 8th, 2024. And it is open to the public.
Yes. And I want to talk about it some because I got to be at the last one.
Yes.
And I got to kind of be in the behind the scenes, kind of sort of in a way. Not in a huge way, but kind of. Because my partner in crime, who didn't get to be here for this one, Peggy Brown, who's president of Hit the Road Entertainment and also the executive director of the Mississippi Musicians Hall of Fame. She is King Edward's manager and has been now for years. And King Edward, who is a blues artist, received an award.
He did. And so well deserved.
Yes.
So incredible. And he performed at the ceremony this year. It was a fantastic performance. Every year we have these artists come in and they perform. We've had poets, we've had authors, we've had musicians, we've had actors, you name it, we've had them. And this is their opportunity to be honored, and you get to have a performance if you attend, which is great.
Well, and again, one might think the Governor's Arts Award. It sounds really highbrow. And there were some very educated, I wouldn't call them highbrow because that makes it sound like they're uppity or something. There wasn't a single person there that was uppity, folks, because I got to talk to all of them. But highbrow in the sense that they were educated. They have done impressive worldly things.
Absolutely.
You know, that type of thing. And then there was King Edward, who is a self-taught, essentially,
Absolutely.
or home-taught blues musician, who is a very humble man, and he was, and the other recipients came up and spoke to him later and even said, you were the hit, you were the star.
Absolutely, he really was.
Yeah, we should have just given you more time so you could have performed more. To which he was not adverse to. He was kind of like, I could have done that.
I think we could have all had more time with King Edward on stage.
Yeah, there were people in the back dancing, and we were concerned that he would not want to perform.
Yes.
And actually, he wanted more time to perform.
Give the guitar player a round of applause, y'all. Make it play. You only come home right now to me. I'll be waiting at home, waiting on you. Bring your pretty self home. Bring your pretty self home. The prettiest thing I ever seen. I'll buy your Cadillac car in a diamond ring. If you only bring your pretty self home, your pretty self home. Bring your pretty self home. Bring your pretty self home. Be all right. All right.
It was an amazing evening. But here's this man who's really, I don't believe he's even originally from Mississippi, but has lived here most of his life. Right. And blues artists from that era, they didn't have 401ks. They didn't. It was from gig to gig to gig, mostly multiple gigs in a night to live.
Yes.
So it's not like that they're not your $1 million musicians like we have now. They didn't make millions of dollars. He's not living high on the hog, so to speak.
Absolutely.
We're in Mississippi, folks. He's not high on the hog, okay? So here's this very humble man receiving this award. right there in the middle of people who are very educated and very successful, the way the world sees success. And there he was with his award too. So Mississippi sees the arts from A to Z, across the board. It's not like it's just is it ballet, or is it the poet laureate, or is it the world-renowned writer, or the person who has a Grammy.
Correct.
It's also the King Edwards, which I'm not putting him down in any way. I'm saying it's someone who he doesn't have a mansion anywhere.
No, it's not it's not necessarily for the rich and the multi-famous.
Yeah.
It's for people that really made an impact, which King Edward did.
Right.
So, and
it still is. Right.
He still is.
Right. He made an impact that night.
Absolutely.
He was so impactful that night.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's really who the Governor's Arts Awards are for.
Right.
The kind of nominations that we're looking for. It can be someone who won a Grammy, of course. But
absolutely.
It doesn't have to just be that. So we're looking for anyone that's made a really strong impact to the arts in Mississippi that deserves to be honored. And that's really what the Governor's Arts Awards is about.
And it's taken so seriously.
It is.
You go to the Capitol. You go to the floor.
You do. So you are honored on the Senate floor if you win. And you're brought to Jackson. You're brought, and the Senate, you get to come out on the state floor with the senators from your area. They come up, and it is a lovely ceremony that is done. And then you go to the award ceremony, which this past year was at the 2 Mississippi Museums.
Which is amazing.
And if you've never been to the 2 Mississippi Museums, I highly recommend to take a tour. And then after the show, you go to the governor's mansion for a reception.
Which is amazing.
And you get to talk to the different artists that are there, and to our amazing sponsors and people within the art community that support it so much.
And senators. I mean, the senators were there.
Representatives.
Right.
Government officials are there.
Yes.
That's really what it's about. It is marrying the arts with government.
Yes.
Which is how we're able to provide grants. Like, we are a state agency.
Right.
And we get funds that we can distribute to artists, and that's what it's about.
So how does one nominate, whether it's a poet laureate you want to nominate, or kind of a regular Joe, like a blues artist like King Edward, who is anything but regular, but at the same time is?
Yes.
How does one nominate someone for a governor's award?
So the process, it's not that complicated. But you do need a lot of supporting material.
Yes.
That is the key. We get a panel together. It is not decided by the Arts Commission. There is a panel that reviews, and they make decisions and recommendations. And they really want to find, it's always this, it's who has the best letter of recommendations, how many do they have? What are their supporting materials? People that get news articles, special recommendations from people that are high up in the art industry, or really just reliable when it comes to the arts or that specific genre that person is applying for or nominating for. It's got to have a lot of detail. So whether it's like a video interview or a news article or a blog, a website, a piece that the person did, anything like that really proves they've made an impact, that they've got enough information to say, okay, they deserve a Governor's Arts Award. Wow. Sometimes we get nominations and it's got like one link and there's just not a lot of detail, and they haven't been around that long. You got to have some longevity in order to win a Governor's Arts Award. So if you're a brand new organization and they're trying to nominate that organization, you're most likely not going to be selected. It is really someone who's been around the block and has made an impact.
Right. Yeah, well, and that makes perfect sense because it is also about the longevity.
Yes.
Yes, which of course all of the recipients, I mean, they were lifelong.
Oh, yes.
Yes, they were so impressive.
We had such an incredible group this past year.
And a huge group.
Huge, which is large. We've had larger, but that was a pretty large group. We don't usually have that many, but I think our group last year, it was too solid. The people that we had nominated, it was just, that was the group for sure.
Yeah, I went back and looked at the years before.
Yeah.
And there were some that were all that many or close, but it was like, holy smokes, it was a big year.
It was a big year, and it was such a great group, and everyone was so well deserving of those awards.
Absolutely.
And it was such a great honor to be able to honor them. It was wonderful.
Well, and it absolutely shows why we have a blues trail.
Yes.
A country music trail.
Yes.
A literary trail.
Yes.
Of course, we have the Mounds Trail. There's the Ocean or Beach Trail. And we have the Natchez Trace. We are such a rich state in heritage, in arts, in culture.
Yes.
And we have so much to offer. And what your office is doing, what the commission is doing to further that is it's not this little niche. It's not a tiny thing.
Right.
It is so... It radiates out. The butterfly effect from what happens with these grants is seen by these awards.
Absolutely.
And the cross-section of people that have won these awards. So when you said what you wanted to talk about, these two things, I'm like,
absolutely.
The two are so, the one affects the other. And the one is proof that the other is needed still. So they go hand in hand.
They do.
Yeah, they go hand in
Absolutely.
hand. They're bookends.
They are. And I think a lot of times some of the people that have won in the past, I'm sure they've received a grant from us at some point in their careers.
I'm sure.
And that, brings them in and helps them continue and to grow and to become...
Or are doing things that are funded by the grants. Like
Absolutely.
I know Dorothy Moore, who
Amazing.
of course, Peggy is her agent. Dorothy Moore has won an award.
Yes.
She's won this back, I think.
It's 95, I think.
Yeah.
It was back in the 90s. That's all I can remember.
And she was there to support King Edward.
Yes.
But I know that some of the things that you have talked about, I know she goes and she speaks at and supports, et cetera, and they are funded by these grants that you're talking about. So she may not herself come in and apply and get grants to support them, but she's out there still doing things, which not that she wouldn't be anyway, because she's still amazing and still performing, but she's doing things in Mississippi because these grants are out there providing the opportunity for her to do it.
That's right.
And I know that we've had grants for the Central Mississippi Blues Society that have had many blues artists out talking to the young people in the state, not about how to become a blues artist, but how to become an artist and make that sustainable as your career.
Absolutely.
And what that means is you have insurance. You have if something happens to you, your kids are taken care of. How not to be a star, but how to be financially stable, and what the difference is. And so those types of conversations are what the artists, by us having those grants available, are able to go out and talk to the kids about. And so there are amazing things being done with these grants that would not otherwise be done. So these grants are doing so much more, and there are people that are out and about more than what you would think about. This kind of sounds like, oh, you have to be an artist who's got something planned that they want to, like an exhibit they want to do, or something like that. No, these projects are so much more than that. So much more than that.
And it just like you said, it can fund so many things that just support your community and bring people in, and have an artist come perform. I mean, things like that. That's part of the grant. So if you're an organization, you're trying to get an artist to come perform, we can do that. And there's something that someone always asks me about.
Okay. Yes.
And this is something that we get questions about all the time. So we don't actually have artists on staff that we can like hire to you. But what we do have, this is something that you can apply for actually beginning May 1st and ends June 1st. It is our artist roster. And you get this listing on our website. And people can find you that way. A lot of, we've seen muralists on there. We've seen performers, all sorts. I think King Edward's roster artist.
I'm sure he is.
So, I mean, we have a wide range. It is something that we are continuing to grow and to offer more, if you become one. And we always, if someone asks us, do you know an artist within this kind of area that we could hire? A lot of times if we get a call like that, we'll say, you know what? Well, we've got this roster artist that you can reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good way to kind of get even more business if you're trying to perform or create. That's just another thing to apply for, and it is so easy to do, and I really encourage any artist to apply.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to talk about? Because I certainly don't want to leave anything out that you all do or that you would like for people to know about. I want to cover whatever it is you have that is relevant.
Thank you. Well, there is one thing. We have the Governor's Arts Awards coming up in 2024, February 8th.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that will be Arts Week. So so we're going to kind of create a full week of activities. We don't have all of the details quite yet, but I can share that we will have Governor's Arts Week Awards that week. We will have our Arts Day at the Capitol that week, which will be on Tuesday the 6th.
Awesome.
And there's just going to be tons of activities going on from the Arts Commission that week here in Jackson, and we can't wait to tell you more about it.
We can't wait to hear more about it. That is amazing. So it's going to be a whole week instead of just wow. You all were so busy just with that day.
Absolutely.
So y'all are going to need I don't know what y'all are going to do to hold up for a whole week of that, because that was a massive thing to handling that day.
It was,
but I will say
a lot of logistics. But what we realized was, we were doing the Governor's Arts Awards, and then a month later we were coming back for Arts Day at the Capitol.
Yes.
And really, honestly, we want to make such an impact. There are so many stories to tell, and we felt this was the way to do it. Let's have a full week, because the arts deserve a full week. It doesn't just need a day.
Right. And I could see linking those together and building up to the presentation of the art.
Yes.
It does make sense, because that does take what we said earlier, the bookends. It takes, we've poured money in with these grants. This is what has been produced over the year, or a sampling of it. Mm-hmm. And the culmination is this type of success has occurred over the years, and these people can have that success too, and will have that success. So it is telling the story, although it may not be these people on this end, but it is showing what the progression is. So
absolutely.
It's an amazing concept. I'm so glad you all are doing that. Yeah. We
it
need
was
to,
a lot.
Yeah, we need to take y'all to lunch and stuff like that. Y'all are gonna need vacation afterwards.
We'll need. I after Governor's Arts Awards this year, I think I took off the Friday. I said, just don't call me.
Yeah, I know.
But absolutely, we're really excited about it though. We think it's going to be a great week, great event. We also have our State Arts Conference will be coming up in the fall. So this is something that we did spring of 2022.
Okay.
We typically do it in the fall, but we chose to do it in the spring because we had not been able to have the conference due to COVID. Mm-hmm. We brought it back. We'll be bringing it back this fall.
Awesome.
We're still confirming our dates and going through some planning for it, but we look forward to everyone joining us. It will most likely be here in Jackson. And we're looking at dates in October. And this is an opportunity for artists to get training. We offer a wide variety of different sessions, from understanding business, accessibility, social media assistance, all sorts of different things that you might need to know as an artist for your business as you're growing and performing. This is the opportunity to kind of get that training and network. It's usually a 1-day event, but this time it will be a 2-day event.
Wow. The networking part.
Huge. Yes.
Huge.
And this is an opportunity to network with other artists, organizations, people within the industry. It's really geared towards artists. That's really who's going to be attending this kind of a conference. It will be artists and those arts organizations throughout the state.
Well, there are communities who have arts commissions put together because they realize the tourism from their arts. I just attended a conference week before last, I suppose it was, Music as Tourism, and this has become such a big thing that this conference itself is a business.
Yes.
And many people from the state of Mississippi government were represented there because they realize that this is such a big part of our economy. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that we are putting the energy into this, it's very important. And so it's wonderful to be letting artists know your talents are as valuable as I said earlier, the man who owns the factory or is opening a restaurant, which I think being able to run a factory is an art. I think being able to manage a restaurant is an art. I know people who have ran factories, who have ran restaurants, and those things are art to me. But we've not traditionally seen it that way. But what we have traditionally seen as art, historically many people have said, oh, that's great that you have that talent, but you can't make a living at that. Well, we're running our state off of people coming in, seeing you all making a living at that. So we need to be sure that you understand how to make a living at it.
Absolutely.
And your importance in the state. And we need you to feel important and to step up into that importance.
Yes.
We need to recognize that importance. And the other thing is we also need to recognize the importance of those coming into our state supporting this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have to recognize the importance of those who are coming in. So I think for the artists to know the need to connect to those people coming in who have connected to you, and to see that the value you have in that exchange between you and those who have connected to you and coming in. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yeah,
it really is.
And it's all being grown and nurtured by this type of stuff and the events you're talking about. So it's a beautiful thing. What we're talking about is not. I can remember as a child, stuff like this was seen as this was the frivolous stuff that government did. This was the stuff. This was the frivolous stuff that a school did.
Right. But but it's not frivolous. There's
nothing frivolous about it. And and I'm so glad we've come to a point in time where somebody sat down and said, "Hold on a second. Our revenue is coming from not from that. It's coming because people are coming in because of arts.
Because of arts.
And we have got to start putting money into the arts because, we've got to sustain this. We've got to grow this. We've got to support this. I'm so glad that has come to the forefront.
Absolutely. And it's amazing when you look around at some of the communities and cities within our state that have really invested in their art. I look at Laurel. I mean, people always look at Laurel but when we talk about Mississippi, I think that's been the big thing. You can see they've invested in the arts. Hattiesburg's done it. Some of the communities on the coast, up in North Mississippi, we've seen a lot out of Tishomingo. I mean, they've really just kind of they're like, we're coming in. I'm so impressed.
You go to Tishomingo and sing into the can.
It's incredible. And then like Oxford and just you name it, the Delta has always been rich. You go to the Delta, it's just arts. I mean, it's amazing. And that's where you're seeing a lot of just growth and development. You see those communities, things are happening there and people want to be there.
Right.
For sure.
Well, and I think, and again, I know you're arts, but people have talked about going through Mississippi to get, especially because of blues, to get from Memphis
down
to get from
the
Memphis
coast or wherever.
to New Orleans.
Yep.
And so they would come through Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because they would stop at the Delta and then have to get through Mississippi.
Yeah.
Well, Mississippi is not a shot. We're for sipping, okay?
That's
We're
right.
For
We
sipping.
are for sipping.
We're not a
that's for
shot.
sure.
We're for sipping, okay? And so you need to stay a while because we're the birthplace of America's music, and you wouldn't be in Memphis or going to New Orleans if it wasn't for Mississippi. So you need to stay a while.
That's right. And we have things like the B.B. King Museum.
Yes.
And the Grammy Museum right there in
Yes.
the Delta. If you're coming down through that way,
Yeah.
I mean, that is worth, those are incredible stops to make.
And we have different regions throughout the
Yes.
state that are all different. So when you come out of the Delta, it's not like, okay, we've seen the Delta. You know, we have all these trails we talked about. Trails are for meandering.
Absolutely.
And so meander through the state. We so many people plan their trips as I'm going from Memphis through Mississippi to New Orleans. No. Meander through Mississippi. Stay a while. Sip Mississippi.
And even
We're
if
for
you
sipping.
live, and I will say this, even if you live here, I'm big on actually like
Visit your state.
I visit my
Vacation
state.
in your state. Yeah.
I just find a vacation. We do this a lot. We vacation here.
Yeah, vacation in your own
we
backyard.
Vacation here.
Road trip,
We're
day
going
trip.
down to
Yeah.
the coast in May, at the end of May, beginning of June,
Mhm.
and we're vacationing there. My son thinks it's the best vacation every time we go,
Yeah.
and we do things like go to the museums and we, you know, check out public art. We check out what's going on. There's so much going on right there on the coast. We go up to Oxford, and it's
Yeah.
the same. We visit within our state. You
hit the road
Yeah, we
in
hit the
Mississippi.
road.
There's a reason why people from around the world and around the country are
Yes.
hitting the road in Mississippi. So if you live in Mississippi, hit the road in Mississippi.
in Mississippi. There's things to do here
See
that are
why?
amazing.
See why people are coming to Mississippi. Because
Yeah.
if you're from one part of the state, then go see the other parts because
right.
it's entirely different.
It is.
Yeah, go
Like-
discover that.
The Max and Meridian. If you've never been to Meridian,
Mhm.
that's worth a go. If
Yeah.
you've never been, there's so many things. Tupelo has the Elvis Museum up there,
Mhm.
and there's tons going on in Tupelo. I mean, there's always performances happening.
Right.
Just
And the
you know,
link, is it called the link?
Center. Yes, the
yes.
Link Center's amazing.
Yes, I can't wait to go there. We're supposed to go up and cover that and do a podcast with
Oh,
her.
fun.
Yes, I
Oh,
can't
that'll be
wait.
great.
We met her through the Arts Day.
Oh, awesome.
Yes,
That's
so I can't
wonderful.
wait to go do that.
Yeah.
So, right. So what else have you got for us? Because we've already covered the entire, we could be a tourism commercial in and of
Absolutely.
ourselves right here. So what else? Anything else you want to
I think we've covered a lot of
Yeah,
what we do.
We
Yeah.
have. We've gone from Mississippi's not a shot; it's a sip.
That's right.
And so absolutely, I am so glad that we got a chance to do that.
too.
I'm so glad I got to meet you.
Absolutely.
Getting to meet you whenever we did King Edward's event was amazing,
Yes.
and you giving your time so graciously today, I appreciate. But I want to also say, the event that took place, you all did it with such heart, because King Edward is an elderly man.
Yes.
And there were other elderly people,
Absolutely.
older people recipients. And every step of the way, if there was a wheelchair needed, it was there. It was raining. The weather was rough.
It was rough that day.
We had so much assistance. His
Yeah.
hotel was arranged for. You all made everything go so smoothly because there were a lot of logistics on our side to cover, and
Absolutely.
there was not a single snafu. You all made it go so seamlessly, and you all had not just him, but you all had everything to attend to, and so you all put so much into this. You don't just manage the grants. You all put so much heart into this. And
Yes,
so,
thank you.
so I wanted to acknowledge that. And I know
Absolutely,
Peggy
thank
would if
you.
she were here too, because we've talked about it a great deal, that you all are not just people who are, okay, this is how you apply for a grant, and this is how
Absolutely.
you apply for a governor's award. You're not that.
Right.
You all are, you're why people are hitting the road in Mississippi. You're why the artists are coming from Mississippi.
Yeah.
You have heart. and
thank you.
and it shows. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I want to say we are a team of 11. Just to put that into perspective, there's only 11 staffers at the Arts Commission.
Wow.
And we all are very passionate about the arts and what we do, which is what you saw at the Governor's Arts Awards. It is an all hands on deck situation.
Yes.
Everyone on our team is there and ready to help, and we make it as smooth as possible for our honorees and their guests. That's what we're here to do.
Oh, you all did. Absolutely.
That is, I told everyone, my main goal is to honor you and make sure you have a wonderful day. That's it. I don't care about anything else. That's my focus today. And that was our team's focus. And, our team here, a lot of them are artists themselves. They have their own projects that off the clock they are doing. And we are ingrained in the arts community as well. So we're here, we're part of your community. We are with you. And we're here to help you.
Well, it shows. It shows. So thank you so much for your time.
Yes, absolutely.
It was amazing.
Yes,
thank you so
you.
much. So you all, now you know why Peggy and I are so dedicated and love doing this so much, why we light up whenever, it's not fake when we say, we're hitting the road in Mississippi. We don't have to fake the enthusiasm. It's real, or we wouldn't be doing this. So we can't wait for you all to join us again next time, hitting the road in Mississippi. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We'd love to hear any ideas you might have about what we're doing, or any suggestions about where we might go or someone we might interview.
As we are hitting the road in Mississippi.